Hello everyone and welcome to a Doctor Who review video with me, John Parker, and
Me, Jack Cowling, and today we are reviewing episode 12, The Doctor Falls by Stephen Moffat, the series finale of series 10. Now, this episode, of course, follows on from the previous episode, World Enough and Time, where we find that after 10 years, Bill has now been transformed into a Cyberman, and not only that, but after the Doctor and Missy try their best to save her, it is too late, and of course, we find out that the Master is also present as well. And that is where everything kicks off. The ship is currently in chaos. The Doctor is beaten down. He is on the he was on the verge of he is on the verge of regeneration, which amazingly he's managed to hold off for quite a long time. Now, the beginning of this episode was kind of confusing. You did really have to kind of use your brain a little bit to kind of figure out what the hell was going on, because the Master and Missy wouldn't team up. Of course, we were under the assumption that Missy was, in a sense, good, but not quite there. And, of course, obviously, we know the Master's completely evil anyway. But it turns out after a bit of a feud, the Doctor actually tricked them both. So instead of the Cybermen, their original program being to find and gather up all humans, they're still doing that, but the human parameters, or the specifications, should I say, sorry, has been modified. So they're looking for two-hearted species, a two-heart species rather than a single heart. And of course, that's where the Doctor managed to kind of make his escape, kind of, with the help of Bill. And that is where they managed to escape to a nice little location where they managed to kind of build an army of farmers to fight back against the Cybermen. Now, that sequence at the beginning was pretty well executed, I have to admit. I do feel that from what I have seen, this episode and the last one has had a lot more care and a lot more thought put into it than any previous episode. Would you agree?
I completely agree. This is both of these episodes, World Enough and Time and The Doctor Falls, have been the best ever episodes from Stephen Moffat ever. I can't count. I can't compare it. I mean, I think it tops the previous good ones we've had from him in the past, in my opinion. In particular, this episode, and I might get onto that later when we're talking more about how it's written.
So, of course, in the episode as well, we actually found out how the hell both modern-day versions of the Cybermen actually came to be. And, of course, because one end of the ship is obviously accelerating, is it faster or slower?
Well, I think
I've forgotten which end is fast and which end is slow.
I think the top one is slow and the bottom one is fast.
Well, either way, basically because of time dilation, the Cybermen have managed to upgrade themselves a lot quicker in the time that the Doctor and the rest of the gang have managed to formulate their plan. So once they break through the different decks of the actual ship, they manage to come to the part where the Doctor and the gang are, and of course it is literally a full-blown war. Now, in this war sequence, of course, everyone is fighting the Cybermen, apart from two in particular. Now, this is, of course, one of the main points to this episode was obviously, of course, the Master and Missy. Now, obviously, we've always speculated as to how those two would team up together, but of course, from what we've seen in this episode, it's a lot different than we thought they would. Of course, we've seen her change her mind at least 2-3 times, actually questioning her own judgment, perhaps even her own mentality. You know, she does really want to help the Doctor, but of course, she's got this other part of her, or himself, quite literally, that he's obviously trying to push away that kind of thought process. And of course, after the Doctor tries to persuade them both to stand with him and fight, of course, John Sims' Master, I knew for a fact he was going to say never.
Mm.
That I knew that was coming straight away. I could see Missy was trying to. She wanted to say yes, but she couldn't. But eventually, they both walked away. And now we know. Of course, we now know how the Master managed to escape from Gallifrey. He obviously just stole a TARDIS and literally left.
The Doctor did then.
Yeah, just exactly the same as the Doctor did. And of course, the Time Lords managed to cure the Master's weird disease, as we saw in the End of Time. It's taken us a very long time to get back to this point, I have to admit.
I have to say also, I'm really annoyed
pleased
that we didn't get to see the TARDIS.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see his TARDIS. I want to know what the design was.
Yeah, but of course that doesn't matter. But the main point is that the Missy and the Master are responsible for their own demise.
Yeah, that Missy kills him, and then he decides to put a full blast
Of the laser screwdriver into it.
Yeah. Well, of course, I really can't see them ending the Master like that. Surely something will happen with her body on
that is true.
On that ship.
That is very, very true, and I do have to admit though, in all, the death, if that was the death of the Master, then I have to admit, it was interesting, but at the same time, it was, I don't know. If it was going to be the death of the Master, I would expect a little bit more. I can't really say what I'd really want to expect because, of course, the Master, or Missy, is a very unpredictable character. You know, the way their mindset is, it's just, you can't predict what they're going to do. You can't think how their last days are going to be. So, you never know. But I'd expect something a bit, either a bit more grand out, a bit more insane. Well,
what I'm slightly happy about, though, is that right at the end of her life, she sided with the Doctor. Now, that's really interesting, because if they do bring the Master back, will she still be on the side of the Doctor? Because as far as she's concerned, he hasn't done anything wrong. He was right.
Yep.
But will her regeneration, if she does regenerate, if there is a way that she can regenerate, seeing as he said she got the full blast, or if there's a way that she can come back, do you think she'll still have that mindset?
Probably.
Thought process.
We never know. We never know. But of course, and that was the end. I suppose you could say the end of Missy and John Sims, the Master. Because obviously Michelle Gomez has confirmed that she's not returning for another one, is she?
No, she's gone now.
Yeah. So that is the end of both Masters, in a way. So, at that point, the Master is now dead, and the Doctor is literally running through this dark, dreary kind of forest, fighting Cybermen with his sonic screwdriver. Oddly enough.
He has the software.
Yes, good point.
To blow the things up.
Yeah, of course he did. I completely forgot about that. Of course, using his sonic screwdriver to literally blast each of the Cybermen out of existence, until finally he gets shot by one of the Mondasian Cybermen in the back, in the front. Quite hard, actually, to a point where literally the full-blown regeneration is about to burst. But not until the Doctor manages to kind of stave it off a little bit and blow them all to bits, which is where the Doctor now lies half dead in literally a field
I'd
of
say
dead
about
Cybermen.
75% dead.
Yeah. Until who is actually a Cyberman. I'll get to the part about her in a moment, but of course we see someone who we never thought we would see again, did we?
Do you know what? I really loved that scene with when the girl comes back, because I just thought the whole thing was really emotional at the end. The end was just fantastic. But that when she was a Cyberman and then all of a sudden she looks up into the sky, and I didn't realise it at first, but it was like, you could see like a little shimmering effect coming from her. Yeah. Like her soul had just gone, and then the Cyberman just collapses and.
I mean, I agree with you completely. It was a very strong scene, but I don't know, the idea of just zipping someone out of a Cyberman suit and restoring them back to how they are,
I think she
I'm
just
sorry.
killed herself. To be honest, I think it was either her killing herself or the girl taking her away from it by killing her.
I suppose so.
I think it
Yeah.
was just a mystical thing that pilot could do.
Well, the doctor did
So, yeah.
say that Bill's mind was quite strong and was resisting the Cybermen programming, so perhaps her soul was literally still intact. Now, kind of off topic in a way, but pointing towards the Stargate program, of course, the original humans, the ancients, managed to ascend to a higher plane of existence by ridding their physical bodies, and literally it's just their soul that remained. So perhaps in that concept you could kind of compare the two and say that basically she has, with the help of another higher being, Bill has ascended to a different plane of existence, because of course in Stargate an ascended being can actually retake human form, as the water woman did say. She could rearrange Bill's atoms to become a human again.
Yeah.
But I think, of course, Bill's more emotionally in touch with her, and of course, I suppose, in a way, she feels a strong bond, therefore she decides to go off with her to explore the universe. So, yeah, going back to your point, John, I totally agree with that. So, yeah, it was a good way to kind of send
It was a
Bill
fantastic
off.
scene.
Yeah.
And then of course they bring them to the TARDIS, at which point we see the TARDIS in a darkened state, like a half-powered state. And
bear in mind the TARDIS has been abandoned for a very, 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 very long time because of the time dilation.
And then it was an absolutely beautiful way of sending them off. Of course, you see the two girls talking to each other, and then she opens the doors. You see the in space. I don't know how to explain that particular thing. And then of course that scene where Bill, the teardrop drops on top of the Doctor's head. I'm sure that might be revisited, because you know how the tear was on Bill's eye. Now she's dropped her tear and then left it on the Doctor, and then we see it later on, of course, the Generation style on it. I said, and what did she say now? She says, "Where there's tears, there's hope."
Yeah.
And I think that is an interesting quote that we should probably try and remember, because it might come up again.
Well,
and it might also open a small doorway. Now, of course, we probably won't see Bill again in the future series. We probably won't. However, there's still a small chance she might come back as maybe a guest in one episode, should it want to be revisited. Because remember, those two are now zooming about doing whatever they want to do.
Funnily enough, so is Clara and Ashura.
Yeah. So, you know, who knows? They've got those spinning around in the ideas queue, so you never know whether that might come back. But then, of course, we get to the ending. And I think as soon as that regeneration thing on his head came on, and then the TARDIS started taking off, and you see all those memories that he's had.
Well, funnily enough,
the way it was reacted was so perfect. I loved it. Well, it's so emotional.
That's happened before.
I know.
Bear in mind, the Doctor's always said in the past, and this is actually an episode from the Sarah Jane Adventures, that whenever the Doctor regenerates, he always looks back and thinks about those, obviously, recently he's lost, in a way.
It's like someone's just pressed the rewind button.
Yeah, so it's like his past few lives are flashing before his eyes. So, of course, and perhaps the teardrop kind of kick-started his regeneration, because I think he was trying to regenerate, but his body was too badly damaged. Perhaps that teardrop was something related to these higher beings that, you know, because of course Time Lords aren't the all-powerful ones in the universe at the moment. So, you know, perhaps Bill managed to help jumpstart his regeneration.
I think he actually held it off. Because when he was in the forest, he said something. What did he say?
Hang on. He said you will have your time in a moment.
Yeah, you'll have your time. So he blocked it to start with. Which probably was enough to make it so he fainted and couldn't get back out again. So she probably did kickstart it again. But
technically, he could have used the regeneration engine to kill all the Cybermen, but you know.
He could have done, but yeah. But yeah, that scene though, when if you looked at how it was directed, I think the directing, by the way, on this episode,
brilliant.
oh, fantastic! Look now. But anyway, the lights, the way I don't know, there was something special about that scene, about the way they used the TARDIS effects, plus the memories, plus the things he was saying, plus the music. I think it was just such an amazing, impacting scene.
Well,
I absolutely loved it.
Well, I think that in general is going to relate to the Christmas special.
Yes.
I didn't see that
coming. Can I just say a quick thing?
Yep.
Can I just quickly see? Unfortunately, I did see it coming because just before the episode, I was just doing some random Doctor Who searches, and what do I find all over the news? Doctor Who set pictures for the Christmas special have been leaked by someone who was walking their dog. They spotted Peter Capaldi and in the distance what looked like the first Doctor in a field, far away, blurry photos. And of course, when I see that in the episode, what did I think?
David Bradley.
They were right. They were right. It's back.
But I think it's more interesting the Paul David Bradley. I mean, David Bradley, well executed.
Oh yeah.
William Hartnell
Fantastic.
as a person, and of course the first Doctor in An Adventure in Time and Space and Time. His role as William Hartnell was fantastic, and I thought, well, I didn't even realise this was ever going to happen. Of course, you had an idea that this was going to be in there, but wherever this storyline's going, I have absolutely no idea.
I didn't know it would be in this episode. I had no idea that it was going to be that. When I heard his voice for the first time in that episode I just watched, I was really surprised. I was like, wow, talk about confirmation.
Now, of course, I mean, the snow... I'm going to call it a snow planet for the sake of it. There are a few episodes, I believe, William Hartnell had where it was mainly like snow-based, but the one I remember the most was actually the 10th planet.
Yeah, I think it is a reference to that. What I will say, though, is the fans have already speculated on looking at the Christmas special.
Well,
set photos that he's wearing the same scarf that he was in the 10th planet, so it most likely will be.
So it could possibly be that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, that is as much as we'll go into now. Of course, John, your verdict for this episode out of 10. What
10.
will you give? 10.
11 if I could.
No hesitation. See that?
No hesitation.
No hesitation whatsoever. Well, to be honest with you, I have to completely agree. I adored it. I didn't realise it was going to be an hour long as well.
No,
an hour long
fantastic.
Episode. It was.
I'm sorry,
so,
I just can't beat it.
So
Stephen Moffat has outdone himself.
He has indeed, and therefore I will also give it a 10. So, folks, that is the finale of Series 10. Also, the finale of the Series 10 episode reviews. Of course, we will return for the Christmas special. Of course, being as Peter Capaldi isn't quite finished yet. So, and of course, we'll get into that. And of course, the new Doctor will be revealed. Hopefully, he will also be revealed in the next few weeks or the next month or so. So, folks, until next time, see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.
Yeah, please give it a vote yourself, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, folks, for watching. If you enjoyed, do please leave a like or comment below on this video.
If you want more, on Jack's side is the last video and the recommended video that we've suggested to you.
To stay tuned for more, on John's right is the link to our channel so you can subscribe, and also we have a link to our website if you want more information about who we are and what we do. Until next time,
take care, stay safe,
and remember,
let your geek side out. Bye bye, guys.